All right, shalom, shalom, Most High in Christ, bless to everybody that's tuning in. All praises to the Most High. We still in the Sabbath, man. Today's topic is the corruption of life. The corruption of life. One thing about, this Bible, man, you got to understand there are certain time periods and there are ultimately different spirits that you have to understand. One of these is the spirit of the nations. Okay. Spirit of the nations. If you're just coming into the truth, make no mistake about it. This is the movement. All right. You have no doubt stumbled into the truth, but it is your job to stabilize yourself and grow in this. Right? Now, let's see here. Let's open up with Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14.
The Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14,
Verse 12.
and verse 12. For the devising of idols
The devising of idols, man. Idolatry. Come on.
was the beginning of spiritual fornication,
Uh-huh.
and the invention of them, the corruption of life.
The invention of idols was the corruption of life. Meaning, when idolatry came, death came. When idolatry came, death came. The corruption of life is death. Right? Jump down to verse 27.
Verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
For the worshiping of idols, not to be named,
Not to be named, meaning not to be done. Come on.
is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil.
It says that the worshiping of idols is the beginning of evil. Meaning what? Idolatry was the first sin that was committed. So you have to ask yourself a question. How does Eve eating a fruit go into idolatry? Because your pastor told you that Eve ate an apple. But that's not what the scriptures say. So now, let's go to Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 7. And let's read verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it,
Mm-hmm.
and have cast out many nations before thee,
Mm-hmm.
the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites,
Mm-hmm.
and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites,
Mm-hmm.
7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
So the Bible is saying that the Lord is going to give the land of Canaan to the Israelites. So what did he do? He sent us to the land to cast out these other nations that were living there. Right? Come on.
Verse 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them
Mm-hmm.
and utterly destroy them.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
Thou shalt what?
Thou shalt make no covenant with them.
When it say thou shalt make no covenant with them, is this the Bible telling us we wasn't supposed to make no peace treaties with the Edomites? Is this the Bible telling us that we wasn't supposed to sign no covenant with them? Right? Come on.
Nor show mercy unto them.
Uh-huh.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. So what are we reading here? The Lord separated us from other people because we supposed to be holy. We supposed to be set apart. Right? Come on.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son,
Uh-huh.
nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
This is the key though, right here. Come on.
Verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me,
Come on.
that they may serve other gods.
Mm.
So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly.
The reason the Lord told us to separate ourselves from the other nations is because we would follow after their customs. And what would that be called? It would be idolatry. It would be idolatry. Right? Now, Judges chapter 9. Judges chapter 9, because in order for you to understand certain things, you have to understand the spirit behind the nations and why the Lord created them. Right? Judges chapter 9. Yep, let's read verse 8.
The book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse 8. The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, reign thou over us.
So the trees went forth to anoint a king over them, and they said to the olive tree, reign thou over us. First things first, man, we have to understand what trees are. But let's start with the olive tree. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's start with the olive. Jeremiah chapter 11. Go there. And matter of fact, verse 16.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 11 and verse 16. The Lord called thy name a green olive tree.
The Lord called thy name a green olive tree. Come on.
Fair and of goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult. He hath kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. For the Lord of hosts that planted thee hath pronounced evil against thee.
So the scriptures is about to tell us who this olive tree is. Come on.
For the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves, to provoke me to anger, in offering incense unto Baal.
So what are we reading here? This olive tree is the Israelites. This olive tree is the Israelites. Now, let's go to Mark. Mark chapter 8. Mark chapter 8, and let's read 22.
The book of Mark, chapter 8 and verse 22. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bringing a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. Verse 23. And he took the blind man by the hand, and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes, and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught.
So Christ is going to heal this blind man, right? So what the Lord did was he spit on the ground, and he made clay, and he put that on the man's eyes, right? Come on.
Verse 24. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking.
So he looked up and he said, I see men as trees. So mind you, he's not seeing the way he would regularly see, or how a man regularly sees. He said, I see men as trees. Right? Come on.
Verse 25. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes, and made him look up. And he was restored, and saw every man clearly.
So what happened was, after the Lord put his hands on his eyes and he said, I see men as trees, it says that he did it again and the man saw clearly. So what is this showing you? The Lord didn't give him his regular sight the first time. He saw in a different light. Right? Come on.
Verse 26. And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town, nor tell it to any in the town.
So the Lord has now told him, don't tell nobody. Do you think the Lord made a mistake when he gave him the sight to see men as trees? Do you think the Lord accidentally done that? No, what he done was he gave him insight to be able to see the way the Lord sees people. The Lord is the one that sees men as trees, because the Lord is the only one that can really look at you and see whether you got good fruit or evil fruit. Man can't really do that the way the Lord does that, because the Lord can see the intentions of your mind, meaning your heart, and he really know whether you're good or evil. You can deceive man. You cannot deceive the Lord. So when he gave him this insight to be able to see men as trees, he saw the way that the Lord sees. Let's go back to Judges. Judges chapter 9.
Book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse
8.
The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, reign thou over us.
So if the olive tree, we know the olive tree is the Israelites, then these other trees are outside of the Israelites. Meaning what? These trees are the nations. These trees are the nations. So the spirit that's behind the nations is they want a king to reign over them. Read that from the top.
The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, reign thou over us.
So the nations, the spirit behind them is they're coming to the Israelites and wanting the Israelites to reign over them. Why do they have this type of spirit to want somebody to reign over them in the first place? Is because God created them for that. God created the Israelites to rule all nations, and he created the nations to serve the Israelites. But let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 6. 2nd Esdras chapter 6. And let's read verse 54.
The book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures.
Adam was Lord over all the creatures in the beginning. Come on.
Of him come we all.
We all come from Adam. Okay? Come on.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
The people that God chose, meaning the Israelites, also come from Adam. Come on.
All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
Thou madest the world for our sakes. The world was made for the Israelites. Come on.
As for the other people.
As for the trees, the other people. Come on.
Which also come of Adam.
Uh-huh.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
The Lord say they are. When it say thou, it's talking about the Lord. Thou has said that they are nothing. The Lord don't care about them. Come on.
But be like unto spittle.
They are like spittle is compared to a loogie that you spit out your mouth when you go like the Hawk 2. Yeah, that's what it's talking about, man. Spittle, right? Come on.
And has likened the abundance.
That's what it's talking about, right? Come on.
And has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
So the same way you think about if you got a bucket full of water and a drop of water fall out that bucket, you do not care about that drop of water because you got a whole bucket. Right? Come on.
And now, O Lord, behold, these heathen.
He say, behold, look at these devils. Come on.
Which have ever been reputed as nothing.
Uh-huh.
Have begun to be lords over us.
Mm-hmm.
And to devour us.
He say, man, these people that you said was nothing, they are now being lords over the kings. Come on.
But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands.
We given into their hands, man. It's showing you something, right? Come on.
If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
If the world be made for us, why don't we possess an inheritance with the world? Come on.
How long shall this endure?
How long, man, are the kings and priests of this earth going to be in subjection to the people that were made to be servants? Jump down to chapter 7. Let's see. 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and verse 10.
The book of 2nd Esdras chapter 7 and verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
What is Israel's portion? Israel's portion is they have to go through dangerous things in order to receive an inheritance. Come on.
Because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes.
When Adam transgressed his statutes, man. Come on.
Then was decreed that now is done.
We got to understand something, man. Because of our disobedience to God's commandments, we're now in servitude to our servants. Let's go back to Judges chapter 9. Let's go back to Judges chapter 9 and verse 8.
The book of Judges chapter 9 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
The trees went forth on a time to anoint a king over them. And they said unto the olive tree, reign thou over us.
Reign thou over us, man. Come on.
Verse 9. But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
What is this showing you? The olive tree is saying, should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and man? So this is the spirit that's behind this whole situation, and it's showing you, it's shining a light on something. Why would we receive a promotion, but we're not really getting what we desire from it? For instance, reparations. The so-called white man is going, let me pacify them and give them this amount of money, knowing that that's not an appropriate reconcilement. It's no amount of money that they could give us that would be okay, that would make everything good, because the damage is done. That's what you have to understand. That's not a promotion. There's something that they would never give up that would be reconcilement. You know what I'm thinking about in numbers? What is it? Yeah. Let's go there. 33.
Yeah. The book of Numbers, chapter 35, in verse 33.
Mm-hmm.
So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are. Come on.
For blood.
For what?
For blood.
Blood was shed on this land. Blood. Come on.
It defileth the land.
Uh-huh.
And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein.
Ain't nothing you can do, man. Nothing can be done. Read.
But by the blood of him that shed it.
So these are the reparations that we require, Esau. Come on.
Defile not, therefore, the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell. For I, the Lord, dwell among the children of Israel.
No, the Lord dwell in the midst of two or three of any race.
For I, the Lord, dwell among the children of Israel.
Let's go back to Judges 9, man. Judges 9 and 9.
The book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse 9. But the olive tree said unto them, should I leave my fatness, wherewith by me they honor God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Why would we do that, man? Come on.
And the trees said to the fig tree.
So now they done moved on, right? Come on.
Come thou and reign over us. So
now the nations is asking the fig tree to reign over them. Let's go back to Jeremiah. Jeremiah. Let's see here. Yeah, Jeremiah 24.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 24 and verse 5. Thus said the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs.
Like these good figs. Come on.
So will I acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good.
Who are these figs right here? Say, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them. Who are these figs right here, man? Let's go to Matthew. Matthew chapter 24. Like these good figs. Matthew 24 and 32.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, in verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
Now learn a parable of the fig tree.
Learn a parable of the fig tree. This is Christ. Come on.
When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh.
Summer is nigh. Remember, no man can see the Lord except in the daytime. Come on.
Verse 33. So likewise, ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors.
Come on.
Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all things be fulfilled.
Come on.
Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
My words shall not pass away, man. Let's go back to Jeremiah. We're not saying nothing, man, because somebody should be picking up on it by now. Somebody should be picking up on it. The fig tree is tender. Meaning what? The fig tree has fruit. The figs have fruit. Jeremiah 24. Let me see. Yeah.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 24, and verse 2.
No, read verse 3.
Verse 3. Then said the Lord unto me, what seest thou, Jeremiah? And I said, figs, the good figs, very good, and the evil, very evil, that cannot be eaten. They are so evil.
So you got good figs and you got evil. But the evil figs cannot be eaten. Was Christ talking about the good figs, or was he talking about the evil figs that are ripe and tender? We know these figs are the Israelites because that's what we're reading. But these good figs, these are a specific group of Israelites. All right, let's go to 2 Kings. 2 Kings chapter 20. And let's read verse 6.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 20, and verse 6. And I will add unto thy days 15 years, and I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake.
I will add unto thy days 15 years and deliver thee in this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. Come on.
Verse 7. And Isaiah said, take a lump of figs.
Take a lump of figs. Come on.
And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered.
The brother was healed with these figs. You got good figs, you got evil figs. The good figs represent the repented Israelites, man. These are the repented Israelites. The repented Israelites. Hezekiah, repented Israelite. Judges chapter 9. Judges chapter 9. We had a brother, what was that brother trying to say? That Hezekiah was like in the scripture that prophesy about Christ. He was trying to say that was Hezekiah. Our people, man. I forgot who that was, but man, our people be bugged out, man. Judges chapter 9 and 10 again.
The book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse 10. And the trees said to the fig tree.
The trees said to the fig tree, man. Come on.
Come thou and reign over us.
Come reign over us. Come on.
But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit and go to be promoted over the trees?
These figs, it says they have good fruit, man. They have good fruit. Right? Hold this. Ephesians 5:9. Ephesians 5 and 9. They have good fruit. Ephesians 5 and 9.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 9. For the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness and righteousness and truth.
So these figs, man, these figs have good fruit. So they're telling these trees, why should I forsake all this good fruit I have and be hasty to come and be king over your wicked kingdom? All right, let's go back to Judges 9. Think about this for a minute, man, because we have to realize, you know, in this truth, we putting in works, man. And it's like the more work you put in, that's the more time and energy and everything else that you've invested into this. Why would you give that up to be put over a kingdom that's fallen anyway, man? Right? The Lord literally told us that a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. And we'll sit in the house and watch a debate going on between the Democrats and the Republicans. It's the same government, man, but they're fighting each other because it's divided. They have different systems and beliefs and everything, man. Judges 9. Yeah, good.
The right wing and the left wing, but it's all the same bird.
Right. Yeah, we like ours fried hard. That's right. Judges 9 and 11.
The book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse 11. But the fig tree said unto them, should I forsake my sweetness and my good fruit?
The fig tree saying, why should I forsake the works that I've put in to be ruling over this wicked kingdom, man? Right, come on.
And go to be promoted over the trees. Then said the trees unto the vine.
Then said the trees unto the vine. Come on.
Come thou and reign over us. Verse 13. And the vine said unto them, should I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Should I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man? John, St. John. John 15, and let's read verse 1. John 15 and 1.
The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
I am the true vine.
What the Lord say?
I am the true vine.
Uh-huh.
And my Father is the husbandman.
Uh-huh.
Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away.
Every tree that beareth not fruit, man, he taketh away. Come on.
And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit.
Come on.
Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
Come on.
Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself.
As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. Meaning what? Yeah, we receive commandments, but we could have never been acceptable to the Lord without Christ. Christ had to come and show us how to do it in order for us to follow after him. That's why he say, you cannot bring forth fruit without me, right? Come on, read that verse 4 from the top.
Verse 4, abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me.
Come on.
Verse 5, I am the vine.
What the Lord say?
I am the vine.
The Lord is that vine, man. So what's going on is the nations went to Christ and they going, reign thou over us. But the Lord is not trying to be a part of that, man. When you look at this, man, and it's like, you see Christianity, man. Christianity want Christ, but they want Christ the way they want Christ. You gotta understand that, man. Matter of fact, read that verse from the top, verse 3.
The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you.
Come on.
Abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. I am the vine. Ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing.
Without me, you can do nothing, man. Let's go back to Judges chapter 9. So you understand that Christ is the vine. And these nations want Christ to reign over them. But they want Christ to reign over them the way they want him to reign over them, which is Christianity. Right? Judges 9, and let's read that verse again. Verse 12.
The book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse 12. Then said the trees unto the vine, come thou and reign over us.
So right here, this is prophecy, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 4. This is prophecy, this spirit, man. Matthew chapter 4. And verse 1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 1. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
Jesus was led up into the wilderness. Come on.
Verse 2. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered.
The reason why Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights is because he was giving Moses the law. Come on.
Verse 3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread.
Command these stones be made bread. Right? Come on.
Verse 4. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Come on.
Verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest and at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
So what's really being said here, man? This is all a spiritual conversation, man, where the Lord is being tempted of the devil, the spirit of the devil. And he's telling him, listen, you can have all these things. Just show me what you can do. Just use your power for this. Show me this. And he's saying, look, man, you can't tempt me. I don't have to prove anything to you. Right? Come on.
Verse 7. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
Come on.
Verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world.
And sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world. What is this translated to? The trees. All the kingdoms of the world. Right? Come on.
And the glory of them. Verse 9. And saith unto him, All these things will I give thee.
All these things will I give thee. Come on.
If thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Come thou and reign over us. Come on.
Verse 10. Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
What's being said, man, he said that I will give you this rulership, but you have to bow down and worship me. So what is this showing you? These trees are wanting us to rule, but they want the rulership to be of their wicked kingdom, man. This is the spirit behind the music business and everything else they put forth as the American dream. And they go, yeah, you can have all of this stuff, but in order for you to have it, you have to put your trust in us, in our shadow. You have to consume yourself in our ways and sacrifice to our gods. But at the end of the day, this is the corruption of life, man. Right? Being tempted and then falling for it and going into it is the reason why we in the situation that we in the first place. But if we thought about it for a minute and we go, wait, should I leave my good fruit? Should I leave my wine which cheereth God and man? Also, this wine is also the works that Christ has done. Understand that. Let's go back to Judges 9. Judges 9. Judges chapter 9, and let's read verse 13.
The book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse 13. And the vine said unto them, Should I leave my wine, which cheereth God and man, and go to be promoted over the trees?
Come on.
Verse 14. Then said all the trees unto the bramble.
Then said all the trees unto the bramble. Come on.
Come thou and reign over us.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 15. And the bramble said unto the trees, if in truth ye anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow.
Come on.
And if not, let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.
So now we have to find out first and foremost, what is this bramble right here? Because this bramble is definitely considering the position. The bramble is like, man, listen, if we really do this, this is the way it's got to be. Who does that sound like, man? If we do this, it's got to be my way. Let's go to Isaiah 34. Because you have a nation. You have a nation that will accept everybody in. You know, but in order for you to get in, you got to take a test. You have to know these different presidents. You have to know about our customs and our laws, and you have to know the difference between the Declaration of Independence and our other documents. Bro, who's doing that? Who's putting this stuff out there like this, man? Who's allowing people to come and just everybody can be an American? Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 13. And thorns shall come up in her palaces.
Let's just start at verse 5, man.
Verse 5.
Yeah, let's do verse 5, man.
All right.
Yeah.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
The Lord say his sword gonna be bathed, man, with the blood of the Idumeans, which is Esau. Come on.
Verse 6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood.
The sword is filled with blood. Come on.
It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams.
With the blood of lambs and goats, man. Right, come on.
For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
The Lord is telling you that these lambs and goats and the kidneys of rams, it represents the Idumeans to him, as if he's making a sacrifice. Because it is a sacrifice. Come on.
Verse 7. And the unicorns shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
This is why we try to tell our people and teach them, when the Bible is talking about these animals and during dealing with the third temple, it's not really talking about us having animal sacrifice in the kingdom of heaven. The Lord is referencing these animals as people. Right? Come on.
Verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses, for the controversy of Zion.
Come on.
And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch.
All of the well off places of Idumea is going to be turned to dryness. Come on.
And the dust thereof into brimstone.
The dust thereof in the brimstone, man. Right? Man is from the dust of the ground. Brimstone is a representation of the Lord's judgment. Right? Come on.
And the land thereof shall become burning pitch.
It's talking about Babylon the Great getting hit with fire. Come on.
It shall not be quenched, not night nor day. The smoke thereof shall go up forever.
The smoke thereof shall go up forever. What is it talking about? The final judgment. Right? Come on.
From generation to generation, it shall lie waste.
Uh-huh.
None shall pass through it forever and ever.
What is it really going into? It's talking about the name of Babylon, the remembrance of this wicked kingdom. Its ways is going to be done away with, man. Right? Come on.
Verse 11. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it.
The cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. These are birds. Birds represent evil spirits in this context. Come on.
The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it.
The owl, the cormorant, the raven, these are unclean birds in Leviticus 11. Come on.
And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion.
He shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion. It's showing you that it's talking about Babylon. Babylon is confusion. It's the land of confusion. Come on.
And the stones of emptiness.
The stones of emptiness, man. Right? Even our wicked people that's been a part of this kingdom got to be put to death. Come on.
Verse 12. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing.
Even the neighboring nations that help this place have to be put to death. Ain't nobody going to be able to save Babylon the Great from the judgment of the Lord. Come on.
Verse 13. And thorns shall come up in her palaces. Nettles and brambles.
And what?
Brambles. In the fortresses thereof. And it shall be an habitation of dragons and a court for owls.
A habitation for dragons, man. But notice what it said. It say needles and brambles in the fortresses thereof. Let's go to Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6, and let's read verse 44.
The book of Luke, chapter 6, and verse 44. For every tree is known by his own fruit.
For every tree is known by his own fruit. Come on.
For of thorns men do not gather figs.
Of thorns men do not gather figs. Come on.
Nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes.
Nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes. One thing you got to understand, man, is let's go to we got to hit this real quick. Yeah, let's go there.
The book of Hosea. The book of Hosea, chapter 9, and verse 10. I found Israel like grapes.
I found Israel like grapes. Come on.
In the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time. But they went to Baal Peor.
They went to Baal Peor, man. So we just read a scripture that separated the grapes from the bramble. It's showing you, man, what we was reading in Isaiah was talking about Babylon. But who's in Babylon? Idumea is the primary nation. And it's calling them the bramble. So you have to understand this bramble. Let's go back to Judges 9. You have to understand who this bramble is talking about. And you know, we got more precepts on the bramble, but we not going to pull those right now. You know, if y'all want more information, call the line. Call the number, man. It's on the page. We'll talk to you.
100 Israelites.
Right. Yeah, we'll talk to you. Judges chapter 9 and verse 15.
The book of Judges, chapter 9 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And the bramble said unto the trees, If in truth ye anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow.
So what is Esau saying here to the other nations? If you put me in charge, that means you have to put your trust in my shadow. So, you know, we can all be in these different places, but at the end of the day, I'm going to have all y'all celebrating Christmas. You got people in Africa celebrating Christmas. People in Europe celebrating Christmas, bro. People in China celebrating Christmas, bro. Birthdays. These are Edomites, bro. That's coming up with this stuff, and the world is following after his shadow, man. Isaiah chapter 30. Isaiah chapter 30. Let's just read verse 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. Come on.
That take counsel, but not of me.
Take counsel, but not of the Lord, man. Our people seek counsel everywhere, but from what the Lord say. It just ridiculous. Read that part again.
That take counsel, but not of me.
Come on.
And that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
But not of the Lord's spirit. People have their own opinions and feelings and everything else, but it ain't what the Lord said, bro. This is why our people, anytime you ask our people why they doing what they doing, the first thing they start talking about is how they feel. And they kids. They kids is the first thing that come up. Well, you know, we just doing it for the kids.
Yeah, Christmas for
right.
Birthdays.
Right. But Christmas morning, you look at them and they face lit up. Merry Christmas. Come on.
That they may add sin to sin.
Sin to sin. Come on.
Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt.
That walk to go down into Egypt. Is this talking about our people really going into Egypt? Or is this talking about our people going into the house of bondage? Come on.
And have not asked at my mouth.
Have not asked at the Lord's mouth. Meaning our people ain't seeking these scriptures. They lean into their own understanding and go, oh, the Lord know my heart. No, you ain't asked at the Lord's mouth. Because if you did, he'll tell you, no, you can't eat that. That's unclean. You can't do that. That's an abomination. Oh, don't follow that. You following your oppressor. We was at camp today. We held camp today in front of a beauty supply store. And one of the owners came out, the Korean lady. And I asked the Korean lady, when the last time has a Korean came into your store and bought anything? And I said, you got all these black women on the wall. When has a Korean came into your store and bought anything? And she had that look on her face. Like, dang, let's not go into this because they already know this stuff, man. It just amazes me, man, how you can have these people that can come into our neighborhoods and be selling this stuff and just hate our people guts, man. Let's read that verse 2 from the top.
Verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
The shadow of Egypt. This is the main part right here. Trusting in the shadow of Egypt is being a part of all of their customs and their philosophies and their traditions. That's what these shadows are right here. And we dealing with these nations, man, that already know this stuff. Right? Jump to chapter 31. Mm-hmm. 31 and 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 31, and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses, and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord.
It say, woe to them that go to Egypt for help. Meaning what? You trust in Egypt. When it's talking about they horses and these horsemen, you have to translate that now to the police and the military of this system. You trust in this place. You trying to make America great again, right? You got that spirit all on you. I seen a video with Drewski. They had this old white dude on there talking about, I don't give a piss about nothing but the tide, baby. And I'm just looking, I'm like, man, he got that spirit all on him, man. That spirit of, this trusting in their shadow, man. Trusting in the horsemen because they are very strong. You know, they looking at all of the military might. You know, you got these old white ladies ready to call the police.
Yeah, Karen's out there.
Yeah, man. They looking like this because they are very strong. Right? Come on.
Verse 2. Yet he also is wise, and will bring evil, and will not call back his words, but will arise against the house of the evildoers, and against the help of them that work iniquity.
Come on.
Now the Egyptians are men, and not God, and their horses flesh, and not spirit. When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall.
Both he that helpeth shall fall. Come on.
And he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together.
It says, he that helpeth shall fall, man. This is why we say, man, if you are a part of this kingdom, you are going to get the judgment of this kingdom. It's the same thing. So what is the scripture showing you, man, that the Lord is allowing them to destroy themselves, man? All right, let's go back to Judges 9. Because this is the thing. Judges 9 and 15 from the top.
The book of Judges, chapter 9, and verse 15. And the bramble said unto the trees, if in truth ye anoint me king over you, then come and put your trust in my shadow. And if not.
So this is Edom saying, listen, if you don't let me rule over you the way I want to rule over you, come on.
Let fire come out of the bramble.
Then I'm going to shoot this fire at you. Who's doing that, man? Who's holding the nukes? You hear Trump talking about it all the time. Talking about, man, if you do one thing against us, we're going to blow you to smithereens. He be saying it on national television.
Yeah, didn't they put like $30 billion into the military?
Bruh, them boys be saying it openly. That's why the scriptures say he beareth not the sword in vain. That means he not playing when he tell you he'll do it. He'll do it, bruh. Now, not Joe Biden, though. Joe Biden will be asleep. Oh, there's many nukes. The coordinate codes. Yeah, we Bruh. Hey man, that debate was a joke, man. I enjoyed every minute of it, man. Every minute of that debate, man. It was hilarious because I love seeing this kingdom fall, man. See them just shoot themselves in the foot, man. It's hilarious to me, man. Right? It's and if not, let fire come out of the bramble. Come on.
Let fire come out of the bramble and devour the cedars of Lebanon.
And devour the cedars of Lebanon. What are cedars of Lebanon represent? They represent the best places in this kingdom, in other kingdoms. The chief seats, the spots where they have their capitals at, right? It represents the best places. So this is Esau saying, listen, if you don't let me rule the way I want to rule, I'm going to bomb you. And I'm going to bomb your capitals and your chief places, man. Real quick, go to Isaiah 40. Let's pull that real quick. This is the understanding, because the scriptures talk about the cedars of Lebanon and a lot, and it only means that this is something valuable or holds a lot of value. Isaiah 40 and verse 15.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 40 and verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket.
This saying the same thing we read in 2nd Esdras chapter 6. The same thing as 2nd Esdras chapter 6. It say the nations are as a drop of a bucket. Come on.
And are counted as the small dust of the balance.
A very little thing. Like it said in 2nd Esdras, they're nothing. Come on.
Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing.
When they say isles, it's talking about the isles of the Gentiles. Those are the isles it's talking about. The isles, the nations, the Gentiles. Come on.
Verse 16, and Lebanon.
And Lebanon. Come on.
Is not sufficient to burn.
So what is the Lord saying here? He's saying that the best trees are not sufficient for them to make a sacrifice. So they could offer the best of the best and it won't be accepted. It say Lebanon is not sufficient to burn. Come on.
Nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering.
It's no sacrifice the nations can make to be brought back into the covenant. Come on.
Verse 17. All nations before him are as nothing. And they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity.
Come on.
To whom then will ye liken God? Or what likeness will ye compare unto him? The workman melteth a graven image, and the goldsmith spreadeth it over with gold, and casteth silver chains. He that is so impoverished that he hath no oblation chooseth a tree that will not rot.
Choose it for what, brother?
Chooses a tree that will not rot.
Come on.
He seeketh unto him a cunning workman to prepare a graven image that shall not be moved.
What you have to understand ultimately, man, is that these nations are serving these other gods, man. And when you trust in their shadow and want to be a part of their kingdom, you're doing the same sin that we've been doing from the beginning, man. Trusting and being a part of the corruption of life. This is what Adam and Eve did that they weren't supposed to be doing in the midst of idolatry, following after these trees. But you have to have the mindset now that we know something, is that we've already started our walk in this truth. There's nowhere else for us to go. You've invested something now. You've invested these fruits. You've invested this wine. You can't leave those things to be a part of this kingdom, to go back into the world. Because you invested so much, you would be giving up the kingdom of heaven. And you have to think about this, when you get weak, man. Right? We all know about, let's go to Sirach 2:1. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1.
The book of Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 and verse 1. Mm-hmm. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare thy soul for temptation, man. Right? Christ already showed us how this battle plays out. Right? When Christ was being tempted, what did he do? The first thing he done was he thought upon the scriptures. He said, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. He used the scriptures to battle that temptation immediately. The book of Acts, chapter 5 and 29.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Mm-hmm. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
We ought to obey God rather than men every single day, man. All right. And with that, we say, Shalom.